forage around the garden today. All different types of tomatoes are ripening. We don't have a mass of tomatoes just yet, but we've got quite a few. These are Mexicana bell chilies. And that is the bell pepper, just a green one. Got a red onion. There's the offcuts. I've been cutting tomatoes up. Got some cucumbers. So I'm going to make a relish or a chutney. We'll find out shortly what it is. Okay, I've chopped nearly all the tomatoes up. And this one here is a pineapple tomato. No, it doesn't taste like a pineapple. It's the colour. So I'll just finish off these. Just rough chunks. They're all going to be cooked down. I'll leave that hardcore bit out. You don't have to be that precise, like I say. There's a cooking process taking place. And there are some tomatoes that weren't quite ripe, but that's fine. You've heard of green fried tomatoes, green chutney. But this is mainly red tomatoes. So, let me finish this one. I'll cut the onions up, get them started in the pan. We'll be on our way. All right, these are some of the chilies and peppers and onions I'm going to cut up. These are just some cucumber out of the garden. They're probably about a day old in the fridge, so they're not super firm, but they're firm. And like I say, chutneys, you can put whatever you like in there. There is no hard and fast rule about what should and shouldn't be in there. You can take the seeds out if you like. I'm not going to bother. And my wife loves the cucumber coming out of the garden. So like I say, there's nothing neat or purposeful in sizes being done here, because this is all going to be cooked down in a chutney or relish. Not sure what it's going to be, but we'll call them both relish chutney. So that's all the cucumber. I'm going to cut the onions up now, put them in the pan with a bit of olive oil, some of the chilies and capsicums, maybe a little bit of herbs and spices, and then we'll get started. All right, we're going to get it on the road. Sort of a medium heat. Put in a glug of olive oil. I don't know what that is. A couple of tablespoons, I guess. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the onions in, some garlic, some ginger, some herbs and spices. I like them all cooked off. I don't like the idea that later on in a chutney or relish you put in raw herbs or spices. So I want to cook them off. So that's what I'm going to do now, is throw in the onions, which is red and brown, and some of that capsicum and chili or bell peppers. All right, I'm going to add probably about a teaspoon, because this is a bigger spoon than a teaspoon. That's ginger. Probably about 2 teaspoons of garlic. Cracked black pepper. You can adjust, of course, the taste later. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in now. And probably, I don't know, 2 teaspoons of curry powder. You could put turmeric in as well, if you wanted to, I suppose. Can't be bothered. So, pick up a fancy little wooden spoon thingy. Like I say, I want to cook off the spices that I've put in there. I will add some. This is smoky paprika. I'll make this up as I go along. Trust me, there's no recipe involved. And I think most people that do pickles and relishes and things like that are the same. They just throw stuff in and let it come good. Right, I'm going to keep stirring this for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll add the tomatoes and some cucumber that I cut up as well. Right, it's been about 2-3 minutes. I added a little bit of water because all those spices started to dry up. We're nearly there, and we'll throw all this in now, which is all the cut up tomatoes, those 3 cucumbers that we had from the garden. That's bits and pieces, let's be honest, that's what it is. Oops, did I nearly make a noise? Now, there's lots of moisture in these vegetables, so I'm not adding anything yet. Might add some sugar, some vinegar, but we'll let them cook down for about another 5 or 6 minutes. And we'll see where we are now. Alright, at this stage it's coming on nicely. It's about another 6 or 7 minutes down the road. This great little spoon, it's got a little curve on it. I got them years ago. Plenty of liquid in there. But what I am going to do is, I think the balance of tomatoes to vegetables, maybe I need to add a tin of crushed tomatoes. That's what I'm doing. Is it cheating? Yeah, probably. It's okay. While I'm doing that, there's a bit of heat in there with curry and some of the chili, but I'm just going to add some of my sriracha. What? I don't know if I... Did I buy a Worcestershire? No, I didn't. It's 2 days I haven't had Worcestershire. I'm going to be in trouble. Anyway, this will be about another 20 minutes doing what it's doing. But while I've added that, I'm now going to add some sugar. Measurement wise, I'm not going to put a ton in. That's probably 1/4 cup. It's probably 1/2 cup. And I'm also going to add some malt vinegar. I love the smell of malt vinegar. How much? I don't know. It's about 1/4 cup at the moment. Everything you can adjust as you go on. It's entirely up to you. And how thick you want your relish or chutney, that's up to you. But this will be cooking for about another 50 to 60 minutes for sure. It'll be reduced, everything will be starting to be cooked, it'll be yum. We'll come back in about half an hour. We'll just keep an eye on it, but come back in half an hour and show you where we're at to there. It's been about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, looking good. It's thickening up, as you can see. But what I am going to do, I've got about 2.5 teaspoons of corn flour in there. Just going to add a little bit of malt vinegar. I don't really want to add water into the mix again. I'm going to make a little paste of the malt vinegar and the corn flour. Just make sure we've got it all mixed before I start pouring. Now, even though, like I say, this is quite good, it's reasonably thick. I want it a bit thicker. So what I'm going to do now is add that corn flour and vinegar mixture and keep stirring. Do not stop stirring when you've done that. We want to cook out the corn flour, but it will start thickening quite quickly. And you don't want it sticking to the bottom of the pan. So I'll be doing this for about another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll come back and see the final result. You see it thickening up nicely now. Come back to it. All right, it's been about 3 or 4 minutes, and you can see it's thickening up nicely. Is it a chutney? Is it a relish? I don't really care. It's one of those two, but I don't have enough jars, so I'm probably going to have to go downtown and buy 4 or 5 little jars. Great little gift for presents to people. And like I say, is there a recipe I could hand on to you? No, you saw what I did. I saw what was around, added it, and always taste it. That is yum. It's going to be magnificent cold. Anyway, that's it. That's my homemade relish cum chutney, whatever you want to call it, from the bits and pieces from around our garden. If you have been, thanks for watching.